Hi everybody, my name is Chef Ruth. I am with Kimani and Keys. My business partner is Jacqueline Keys as well. Tonight we're going to make you a chicken pasta infused with porter beer, and we're also going to make a guava pineapple orange mocktail. And over here we have our chicken, mushrooms, our onions, thyme, parsley, our beer that we're going to use, and pasta, flour, spinach, and our spices. So I'm going to start off by chopping some mushrooms.
Make sure your pan is been oiled and heated and ready to go on low. She's got some water here for her pasta ready to go. And the delicious, yummy ingredients for the mocktail. Chef Ruth is extremely talented with a knife. She's very fast. If you're not comfortable with a knife at home, please go at your own pace. We don't want anybody to lose a finger. But have fun in the kitchen.
Definitely have fun. It's all about your ingredients and having fun and letting loose, and you know, this is something I've done for a while. I love chopping mushrooms.
And you're very good at it, Chef Ruth.
Oh, thank you.
What kind of mushrooms are these you're using?
These are cremini mushrooms.
Okay,
you can find them at your local grocery store, farmer's market. Here in Washington, they grow out in the wild.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah, so it's kind of one of those ingredients.
All right. And was that when you go to the grocery store and they have mushrooms in a container, was that about one container you used or two?
This is about a pound of mushrooms right here.
Okay, great.
For this chicken dish, and I use about one onion because I don't want my dish to be like super oniony.
Okay.
This right here should serve about 4 people once it's done.
Okay.
And I'm done chopping my mushrooms. Always make sure you put your ingredients in separate containers. It's a general rule of thumb in the kitchen, mise en place. So making sure everything is at its own place. Perfect. Once you're done putting, I have a bin over here for my unusable trim because I hate going back and forth in the trash can. So right now I'm gonna chop some onion for my dish. Take the skin off.
I'm going to come slightly in, a little bit closer, so we can see just exactly how she's cutting her onion. Of course, everyone has their own technique for cutting an onion.
Exactly.
So just be safe with your knife. Use a knife that's comfortable in your hand. By all means, we don't want any accidents, like we said, in the kitchen.
Yeah, I like using my Japanese knives. To me, they're more comfortable. But everybody else can use whatever you want. And it's just a rough chop for this onion.
Okay.
Doesn't have to be like super perfect because at the end of the day, honestly, you're just gonna cook it down.
Right.
Again, when you cut, you wanna. I'm so used to cutting, so you kind of wanna keep your knuckles behind the onion, and holding your knife is very important. So you wanna hold the handle, and as you go, you want to just cut it. Keep your fingers behind whatever you're cutting. That way you don't cut your fingers. And that's why a lot of people cut their fingers, because of that general rule of thumb.
That's right. That's right. Now, when you're cooking at home, we typically don't wear protection on our hands. They do have such a thing as a cut glove when you're cooking in a professional kitchen. If you're not comfortable, if you're at a level where you're in the kitchen and you need something to help you as you're cutting, they do have those in the store for purchase, so you can wear one of those at home. But of course, most home cooks don't do that step. So we are, Chef Ruth, on to what is our next item?
We're gonna chop up some parsley.
Okay.
So I'm gonna just wet my cutting board a little bit. Grab my parsley. And again, with parsley, it kind of goes everywhere, so you kind of just want to bundle it up. and take your knife.
Now, is that an Italian flat
This is
leaf?
Carly parsley.
Okay.
So I'm just looking for a very fine mince. This is our garnish when we're done with the dish.
Okay.
What I usually do before I start cooking, I make sure all my vegetables are cut first. That way it reduces time when it comes to cooking. You don't have to go back and chop your onion, go back and chop your mushroom, go back, chop your spinach, you know. Being efficient in the kitchen is one of those important things. You want to make sure at all times getting ahead as much as possible, making sure everything is done. Again, that word mise en place, that's where it comes in as well.
Nice job, Chef Ruth. Now, for the chicken for your dish, can we also use breast meat or?
You can use breast. I prefer thighs because I like thighs myself personally.
Okay. Right.
And I like skinless. I don't like skin on my chicken. So
the dark meat with a little bit of white meat gives it a little more moisture, correct?
Exactly. So that's, I would call that pretty good.
Okay.
Right there. So when you grabbing stuff from your cutting board, you want to use the back of your knife so that you're not scraping your edge of your knife. So use the back of your knife. And you
protect your blade, in other words, then, right?
Exactly. So your blade is not messed up, especially if you have an expensive knife.
Yeah. That's good advice, Chef Ruth.
There you go.
Okay.
To that.
Now, for your dish, will you be using oil in addition to?
I am using oil in my dish. I'm using canola.
Okay, perfect. Canola oil, everybody. And is canola one of your preferred oils, or can your viewers use pretty much any oil they prefer?
I pretty much use a lot of oils. It just depends on what I'm doing for the day. Coconut oil. I use extra virgin oil for my salad dressings and finishing dishes. Truffle oil for my French fries if I want to truffle them. Canola oil just for basic cooking and searing. I don't want to use extra virgin for any searing purposes. So what I'm going to do right now is turn on my pan, put my oil in, grab my chicken. My cutting board is right here. And what I'm going to do right now is tray this.
And remember, home viewers, remember to keep your cutting boards clean frequently and change as often as possible. Make sure you wash them between use, like Chef Ruth did, or bring up a clean cutting board that you can use. Never cut fresh meat with fresh vegetables on the same cutting board. You don't want to cut seafood, have any fresh vegetables or fruit on any uncooked food.
So
that would cause cross-contamination. I'm sorry, Chef Ruth, you were saying?
This right now, what we're doing is we're dredging our chicken with our flour. And what I'm going to do is add in some paprika. I usually don't use any measuring cups, only, well, right there I had to use it because of my flour. Estimate how much you might need in your dish. About a teaspoon, I would say. And then your black pepper in here as well. And your salt. Just for taste and seasoning purposes. Then we're going to go ahead and throw in our chicken. Always make sure when you handle poultry, wash your hands as much as you can, as frequent as possible. Because it is one filthy animal. Right. several ways. I mean, you can put your flour in a bowl and mix it that way, but with the Ziploc bag, you're guaranteed that your chicken will be nicely coated. And my hands are clean.
Nice. It's always nice to have shortcuts in the kitchen that keep your countertops, your stove, and your hands clean.
Yep, exactly. So now, my nicely coated chicken. I believe that is it. Then if you'd like, you can store your flour for another rainy day. You want to use it for another chicken dish, or, you know, of course you have to use it for chicken if there was raw chicken in there.
That's right, that's right.
You can make deep fried chicken with it if you'd like, whatever you'd like.
However, we don't advise keeping your flour more than a few days. If you're keeping your flour in a container, you want to keep it in the refrigerator. Do not keep your flour bag on the countertop because those little tiny nasty microorganisms will start to grow. You don't want any germs on your next batch if you're cooking another chicken dish. So take that bag, close that Ziploc, and stick it in the fridge.
So the purpose of this right here is to make sure that your chicken is seared, and then you're gonna pull it out so you can make your sauce.
And how many minutes, Chef Ruth, do you recommend per side?
I would say about 5-6 minutes
Okay.
per side.
Okay.
And if your oil is running out of your pan, let's say if you have a lot of chicken and your oil starts running out, you can always add more oil. You can add butter if you'd like. It just depends on your flavor profile, really.
Okay. You see everybody that's getting nice and brown. That looks delicious. Almost good enough to eat. Starving.
Yeah. Me too.
Now, what kind of green vegetables do you have on the counter over there? Did you say you had green onions, or?
I have spinach and I have parsley and thyme.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
Spinach. Who doesn't love spinach?
Yeah, seriously.
So I'm just going to come around, Chef Ruth, and check out your lovely fresh spinach here on the counter. And Chef Ruth will be using today a porter beer. It's a dark beer. I'm not much of a beer aficionado, and so I don't think Chef Ruth is either. But just use a beer that's got heavy complexity, as they say, to it, heavy flavor. You can't go wrong. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back in just a second.
Ready?
Yep.
Welcome, everybody.
Hi, Chef Ruth. We are back. So, what part of, what step in your dish are you doing now?
Right now, I am just getting some butter in the pan so I can get the onions and the mushrooms in here with the beer. And then after that, we're going to add back our chicken after everything has been cooked.
Okay.
So down goes our onion. What we're going to do is stir it a little bit. Then while that's going, I'll leave it. I'm going to turn my water on high. I'm going to add salt. Again, I don't measure, so I would say about a tablespoon and a half.
Ooh, that looks like maybe 3. No, just kidding.
Just kidding. I like
kidding.
salt. I like a lot of salt.
I do
not
too.
Gonna lie.
That's what I love about you.
in the water, I also add a little bit of oil. I would say about, depending on your water levels. Right now, I probably just added about probably 2 tablespoons of oil.
Okay.
I'm waiting for the water to boil. Then I'm gonna add in my noodles. The reason of oil in the water is so that when you cook your pasta, you don't want your pasta to be a big glop,
lumpy mess,
and stuck together, and you can't barely separate it. So the oil kind of helps the water separate your noodles while you're cooking it. Of course, when you put your noodles inside, you want to stir it so that everything does not stick together.
Okay.
So that's the reason of that. Salt is just for flavor wise, for tasting, seasoning purposes. So what you want your onions to be translucent, a little bit brown. We're almost there.
Okay, let me get a quick peek.
I'm just gonna leave it alone.
That looks good. Thank you, Jackie. You're welcome.
Right now, I'll add in my thyme.
That smells so good. Wow. Now, could you put white wine in here if you wanted to as a substitute for this dish, or?
Yeah, you can deglaze it with white wine if you'd like, and add in your cream.
You know, I love me some wine, girl.
Yeah. So do I.
That made her smile, everybody.
So do I. So then, wait. That's the same thing.
Okay. So you are using what kind of noodles, Chef Ruth?
I'm using egg noodles. And in my pan of onions, I just added mushrooms.
Okay.
My water is boiling.
Now, is egg noodles, are they a preference, or is it just something you had in the pantry?
It's what I had in the pantry. So what I usually do is I use whatever I have in my house first before I go buy ingredients.
Right.
Rule of thumb, you can. I mean, it depends on what you're making for the day. So I saw the egg noodles and I was making a pasta dish and I was like, hey, why not? You know?
Why not? I agree. Good choice.
Yeah.
Always be a smart home cook. As a chef, I know Chef Ruth would recommend saving money wherever you can. So if you have the ingredients already in your pantry, use what you have. Why run out to the store if you don't have to? Okay, I'm going to slide around and get a closer look at our dish on the stove. Looking pretty good.
Mushrooms right here. They're glowing. Then once the mushrooms are cooked, and you will know they're cooked because they will not be as stiff as they are now. Then they'll be like dark brown in color. Then after that, you will dump in your beer.
The beer. Now, are you going to be using the whole bottle of beer, do you think, for this recipe?
For this recipe, yes.
Now you're talking.
So once the noodles are in there, you want to stir them around. Alright, now that that's cooking, I'm going to take this, my beer, open it up. We're almost there for the wine.
Oh, that looks great, Chef.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
And then I usually salt my dishes in 2 stages. First in the beginning, and then the end.
Okay.
Reason being, you want to salt your food in levels. At the very end, so you can taste the flavor profile and see if it needs more salt.
Right.
And it's always best to salt in the beginning rather than the end, because then in the end you're gonna end up adding too much salt. So when you add salt in the beginning, it kind of cooks with your food.
That's right.
And it kind of builds up all the flavors. And then at the end, it's kind of like a tasting.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I usually do. So
That's
right
good
now,
advice. That's good advice.
yes. Right now the mushrooms are ready. So what we're gonna do is take the beer, pour it in.
Ooh, that looks delicious. Okay. And how long do you think that will take to cook down?
About 15 minutes.
Okay.
So what we're gonna do is take our chicken that we had, add it in.
Okay. And are you covering your
Yes,
pan for this?
I am gonna cover it. That way it cooks together,
Right.
and the steam cooks the chicken.
Mm-hmm. And it infuses a lot more of that
Infuses faster.
flavor of the beer.
And also it wouldn't
onions.
evaporate, you know. Once you leave something open, you you're cooking the steam. Like when you're making your rice, for example,
Mm-hmm.
you put your rice in there, you let it boil because you're boiling off the water, so it's like an evaporation. So we kind of want to keep everything inside the pan, or the flavors,
Mm-hmm.
so nothing escapes.
There we are.
Wait, can you stop it? Alright, everybody. We added the chicken. I added some heavy cream in here. And we reduced it, and it's coming to a nice reduction. And once that happens, I add in my spinach. I don't like stems in my spinach. So what I do is I reduce the sauce down a little bit. So stemming my spinach down a little bit. A little bit of stem is okay, but not a whole sprig of stems.
Might be kind of chewy.
Yeah, stemming it a little bit. Now, see the difference? This is the stems that I don't want in my food.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the spinach that I want in my food.
Right.
So,
Now we could take those stems and we could use them, reuse them.
juicing.
We could juice with them. We can use them for a vegetable stock and save them for another day. Or we can simply be conservative and earth friendly, and we can compost those, right, Chef Ruth?
Yes. So what I just do is the heat from the chicken is anyways gonna cook the spinach, so just put it right on top.
Oh, that looks lovely.
Just turn it up a little bit. Place a cover on that bad boy. Let the heat cook it. Meanwhile, I'm gonna strain off the pasta. That I had made.
I almost feel like peeking, but I don't want to lose a finger, so I better not. Okay.
So you see how my pasta is all
The texture.
nice and oily, and yeah,
Nice.
that's basically how it's supposed to look.
Not too overcooked, just kind of al dente, right?
Exactly. So what we're gonna do right now is we're just gonna mix the spinach in a little bit. Help it out, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I don't like my spinach like too wilted. I like it perfectly crunchy.
Oh, see, now that's where we vary. I like mine kind of to just melt in my mouth. But for
Yeah.
this recipe, it certainly looks delicious.
Yeah, so that's what we do. Right here.
Okay.
So when you get to this point, you just turn off your heat. That's good enough.
Okay.
And then now we're just gonna hop right into plating the dish.
All right.
This over.
Now, could you add a little bit more butter if you're just butter crazy? Could you add a little bit more butter to those noodles before you?
You can add butter to the noodles if you want. I'm not butter crazy. It depends on what certain things I am. I use my hands when plating because I like to touch my food. I like to know how my food feels, and I fix my food with my hands.
Nice.
And plus, anyways, this is my house, so you know. Here, I'm African, so we eat with our hands. That's what we do. We don't, you know, when you go to Kenya, you eating ugali, you eat it with your hands.
Oh, okay.
So everything is hands-on.
I like that. I like that. So many cultures eat with their hands.
Yeah, so then you take your chicken and you place your sauce right on top.
Ooh. Let me come a little closer so we can... That looks so amazing.
Remember the parsley that we had chopped?
Right.
Sprinkle it right on top.
And Chef Ruth, could you hold that up for me?
That
is
done.
Is done. And that's a wrap.
Alright, hi everybody, I am back. We are making the guava pineapple orange cocktail. We have pineapple orange guava, lime juice right here, a club soda, our glass, our mint, and shots. Everybody loves shots.
Everybody loves shots.
So in my cup right now, I have some mint, I have some lime. So I'm gonna...
How many pieces of lime do you use?
I just used one. I just sliced it in fourths.
Okay.
And so right now I'm just gonna pour about half a cup of the guava. I'm gonna pour about a third of a cup of my lime.
Is that fresh lime juice?
Yes. Okay. And then I'm gonna add in some club soda to cut out the
delicious, right?
sweetness. Then I'm gonna add in my shots. I'm just gonna do one shot for now.
It's before 5 o'clock. Let's go
yeah,
slow.
Exactly. So I'm gonna add my lid in, my top, and I'm just gonna shake this bad boy.
And hope it doesn't spill all over.
Hope it doesn't blow up because it's club soda. All right.
All right.
Take
and
the
did
top
you
off.
rim the glass with sugar or salt?
Yes, rim the glass with sugar.
Okay.
And I'm gonna add in my cocktail.
Could you do salt if you like salt on your glass?
You could do salt if you'd like to.
Okay. Oh, that looks
Everybody,
amazing.
there is your cocktail.
All right. And as far as your cocktail, can you tell us some recommended alcoholic beverages we might use in there with your guava and lime juice?
I mean, right now I used vodka, and so you can use rum. Those are the preferred ones. If you like whiskey, you can use whiskey. I don't know how that's gonna taste, but those are the preferred liquors that I personally like.
Right.
And yeah.
Okay. Well, bottoms up, everybody. Cheers.
Bottoms up.
And thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining us
for our very first video shoot for Kimani and Keys on YouTube.
Thanks, guys.
Bye. Take care.
Yeah. You ready? Mm-hmm. Hi, everybody. My name is Ruth Kimani. I'm the chef, owner, part owner of Kimani and Keys. Kimani and Keys is a private culinary educating business. We come into people's homes and we teach them how to cook. And we also teach people how to cook stuff from traditional to gourmet. I have been trained in a bunch of restaurants in Miami, Florida, and also Seattle, Washington. I have worked for James Beard award-winning chefs, Iron Chefs, and I have been trained in Japanese cooking, Italian, French, American, Mediterranean, just to name a few, a lot others. I am capable of doing a lot of dishes, and I'm willing to show you how it's done in your kitchen or our kitchen. And thanks for joining us. Please look us up on the website kimaniandkeys.com, our YouTube page for more videos to come from me and Chef Jackie, and also on Yelp and Groupon as well as Kimani and Keys. Thank you, everybody, and hope you enjoy.
Enjoy. Have a nice day. Bye.